Yeah, I know. You look a little mischievous.
I'm ready to take a
Perfect
photo.
timing. Well, welcome back, everybody. We are here for the finals of this mid-season showdown here at the beautiful Esports Arena in Southern California. I'm Jason Krell.
And
I'm back with
Regina.
Oh, she'll tell you. Go
I'll,
ahead.
I'll tell you who I am.
Yeah, there we go.
Actually, fun fact: I didn't even know this place existed until
I knew it existed, but I never thought that Pokemon would be here because
I'm really happy that
I
we're
am
here.
too.
For it.
It's been good. It's a nice place.
But you guys, so Riley Factura, obviously who just won, that you guys just saw a couple weeks ago, versus Andrew Weaver. And for those of you who are watching and following along, this is not the first time they've gone against each other, nor will it probably be the last. They played each other in Swiss. We just asked Andrew, and he has not won against Riley once this entire series.
But as he also said after, history could be made here, and I think that's very important.
Yeah, they're both gunning for this trophy that we still haven't shown on stream. Whoopsies.
Yes, well, we'll get it down here. Maybe we'll do a little trophy presentation after everything is said and done. But Riley already showing that actually both these players have a game plan. They know what they're doing.
Like their third or fourth match against each other today. I didn't even ask that.
That's true.
Yeah, they played each other so many times. I mean, Andrew has been running the same team all season.
Oh, has he? Okay.
Yeah, and Riley has been experimenting a couple of times. But I mean, there's just not much I think you can really say when you play together so consistently.
Right. And really all it's going to come down to is who is making the right reads and the right adjustments. And we're actually seeing the stack attacker, which I don't think we saw in Andrew's last match on stream. And that's going to be pretty handy here going against the Xerneas. Obviously, the Incineroars are going to be trading fake outs. And it looks like, yeah, Jackson's is a little faster, so that could be significant in terms of... Or sorry, Andrew. Sorry, I'm reading the name of the Pokemon. The nickname. So Andrews is a little faster, could fake out that Incineroar and then still have time to go for a Gyro Ball or something like that.
Oh, I make the mistake all the time about that. Yeah, and it's actually kind of interesting because Stack Attacka, one of the best Xerneas counters out there, and also brings back one of my favorite things for VGC, which is there's a rock slide, there's a way, right?
That's
so there's
true.
a force, there's a way. And there's also that idea right there. But, Riley not really ever kind of safe right now to set up that Geomancy, that Stack Attacker, like you said, threatens so much damage with that Gyro Ball. It is one of the best Xerneas counters out there right now, besides Xerneas, or if you're someone like Terry.
Yeah, Zygarde, right. Exactly. Well, Incineroar's going to switch out here for Kartana. Marth Tipper, like that nickname. And then the fake out is happening, but it's not into the Xerneas, so it does have the chance to set up, but Riley wisely doesn't want to make that Gyro Ball even stronger, just wants to get some damage on to the Stack Attacker. But man, that really is not doing a lot, and now Andrew gets pretty much a free Trick Room, and the advantage is really in his favor.
Yeah, I mean, the Kartana comes in for minimal fake out damage. Riley didn't set up, but his Xerneas is still at full health. However, Andrew is now going to have that advantage, getting that Trick Room set up, but he has to make sure he makes the most use out of that. I think when you're using things like Trick Room or like Tailwind, the best way to get the most advantage out of them is to make sure you're doing damage all the time that you can. And so right now, Andrew's going to have to focus on getting as much damage out onto either of the Pokemon on Riley's side. I think focusing on that Kartana especially because that Sacred Sword is going to do so much damage to that Stack Attacker.
Wow, well, it is actually going to get out of here. It just doesn't want to come in. And here you are, Groudon here, bringing the sun and hopefully some Precipice Blades if Andrew has anything to say about it. Kartana not wanting to take a Flare Blitz, especially when boosted by the sun, is switching out in favor of Incineroar. Very good play here from Riley, able to get that Intimidate onto both of these physical attackers. And actually, Xerneas so far is pretty safe, and actually it's perfectly safe because it's protecting this turn.
Yeah.
And now a U-turn, though, does give Andrew the chance to pivot probably back into the Stack Attacker, though now that the sun is up, maybe you don't want to take a Flare Blitz from that Incineroar.
Yeah, but I mean, he could go for those rock slides later on too, which would be super effective. And I think the really smart thing here is that Riley's trying to mitigate the damage that Groudon is going to be putting out with that Intimidate, and Andrew kind of just wisely protecting his own Intimidate user. I think the fun thing about Riley keeping the Xerneas in is now he has to decide about that Stack Attacker because, like you said, it'll take a lot of damage from a potential Flare Blitz. However, Riley also has that potential to take out the Groudon on Andrew's side of the field and try to at least go after that Stack Attacker or double down into that Groudon as well. So I think Riley has options here that, even with a Stack Attacker on the field, that he can make safely because he didn't set up Geomancy, and so he has the ability to also switch out that Xerneas and save it for later on, as long as he can make sure that he kind of just makes Trick Room expire and then put himself in a better position.
Yeah, and I think he's doing a really good job here of kind of burning these Trick Room turns, and that is exactly what he's going to do. He's just going to keep switching Pokemon in and out in a way that is most safe. fake out here into the Groudon now that the Stakataka can really only hit the Kartana with the Gyro Ball. Not really doing a whole lot of damage. Actually, a little bit more than I thought, but again, just another turn wasted that Andrew really needs to get a win here, and he's running out of time.
Yeah, and then Andrew's Stakataka is even more threat now. You know, again, the Smart Strike. You also have that potential for the Leaf Blade into that Groudon, and this Incineroar is going to be pretty fast now as well with the Flare Blitz potential, and there's a lot that Andrew has to consider, and you know, I don't think he's quite using his Trick Room turns to his advantage as much as he could, and that's a lot with Riley having to not setting up that Geomancy turn 1, just going straight for damage, and then making sure that he gets that Xerneas out very smartly. So I think even if Riley's, you know, on the back burner in terms of speed, he's been doing a very good job of protecting his Pokemon for when Trick Room eventually expires.
Yeah, and playing defense is definitely important. Now the Rock Slide's coming out. Let's see if we get some flinches. That's a lot of damage onto the Incineroar here, definitely in Precipice Blade range now, but it doesn't get the flinch, and so Riley's able to just U-turn out to safety. So he's either bringing in the Xerneas or his 4th Pokemon, which obviously we have not seen yet. Probably not going to want to take a Precipice Blade either way, but depending on, I forget now, I think this might be one of the last turns of Trick Room. He could be setting up for future turns, or if not, something that can just kind of come in, take this damage, protect, and then be set up for the following turn when it does finally expire.
He's taking his time thinking about the last one. I mean, I almost want to say that we might see that Kyogre, but Kyogre Xerneas, I think the matchup is hard, especially when you have like a Stakataka and you have to figure out how to save that Kyogre for later on, especially if you're going to use something like Water Spout to kind of deal damage. Because then, you know, the implication there is that you're using the Choice Scar, and actually Riley really winding down that time to figure out what to bring in.
Okay, so it is just the Xerneas again here, and now that it doesn't have to worry about a Gyro Ball this turn, it's okay taking a Precipice Blade. And actually, the Kartana is going to miss, so it's really only the Xerneas taking this damage. And that's actually really good for Riley, I imagine, because, wow, now he gets off the Sacred Sword, and that's 4 times super effective. Goodbye, Stakataka. The wall has fallen, and that means Trick Room is no longer an option. So really, as long as Riley can just protect the Xerneas, he's going to be able to just set that up and probably sweep through the rest of his team.
I appreciate that joke so much. But you know, the thing is here too, I mean, Yveltal is nice and everything with that Dark Aura. I mean, it's obviously weaker against a matchup like with Xerneas, but I think Riley obviously lucked out on that fact that the Kartana managed to dodge that Precipice Blades. And Xerneas gets in for very little damage, and I think Trick Room is probably like this is the last turn of Trick Room now. So all Riley really has to do is protect both of his Pokemon here, maybe get that Kartana out, bring back in something that he's okay with sacrificing. Most likely that Incineroar potentially, and honestly, that Yveltal isn't going to be really able to do anything, and Andrew's kind of scared of that.
Yeah, and Andrew doesn't want to lose his Groudon just yet. He's probably trying to set up here for next turn so that he can fake out that Xerneas and stop it from setting up a Geomancy. So the Incineroar comes in for that, and Riley's bringing his Incineroar as well. And I'm pretty sure that his is faster, if I'm remembering the beginning of the turn right. No. Andrew's is faster. But either way, the fake out's definitely going to prevent something like a knockoff. This Tailwind here is actually very interesting. It's something that we do see on occasion from players who play Trick Room, but in the long run, it's really not going to matter a whole lot because that Yveltal was just destroyed by the Moonblast.
And then that was actually really smart of Andrew to set up that Tailwind right when Trick Room expires, because now he's got the speed advantage once more, and this Groudon is going to be in a very nice spot to go for those Precipice Blades. We have, like you said, that double fake out again on the field, but Andrew's is just a little bit faster than Riley's own Incineroar, and so again, his own Xerneas is still not really in a place to kind of go for that Geomancy setup. And even if Andrew's down to his last 2 Pokemon, he's in a good spot as long as he takes advantage of those last couple of turns of kill. Those couple of turns of kill.
Well, and so now the fake out is stopping Riley's from. Oh wow, another miss! I can't even get through the sentence. So that's really bad for Andrew because Incineroar is going to stick around for another turn, and Riley still gets off the Geomancy, which means that he's just as fast as the other 2 Pokemon on Andrew's side of the field. And that means that if the chances that Andrew loses one of those Pokemon is a lot higher. And obviously the Groudon is, I think, the one you definitely don't want to lose here. Well, the Sun Fading also doesn't help Jackson because I think he could really use that extra damage for Andrew for the extra damage from like Flare Blitz or something like that.
I will assure you right now, Jason, a lot of us down here in South makes Andrew and Jackson up a lot. So
okay.
it's very fair. I've done it multiple times on stream, and they can definitely call me out on that. But yeah, I mean, Andrew is kind of still in a tough spot because, like you said, that Xerneas, after being set up, is going to be on that same kind of speed tier as both of the Pokemon on Andrew's side, and nothing really, like Riley's Pokemon here right now can't really survive those attacks. However, if Riley can sell out those last turns with Tailwind, he's still got that Kartana in the back and is still kind of able to at least deal damage with the Sacred Sword, and is going to be able to deal damage also with, and there's the last Mahone. There's why we see that for a while.
There's the Kyogre, which is really just here. I'm pretty sure that Riley knows Andrew's forced to try and attack that Xerneas, and Riley is not going to make it easy for him. So switching into the Kyogre in preparation for the next turn, but you actually, unfortunately, were just completely clean knocked out. And this Flare Blitz into what I can only imagine is the Xerneas is going to do even less damage because of the rain. That was actually the perfect switch. Even after the burn, I mean, that's like a 10% chance, and it's really unlucky in a sense. But because if Riley hadn't switched in that Kyogre, it would have probably got the knockout.
Yeah. And I mean, this is now, I think we were guessing as to what Riley's last Pokemon was, and we were definitely right on the money here, especially because of the fact that he was doing so well trying to protect that in that Trick Room mode. And I think what was really cool was watching Andrew, despite the fact that he was always in command of the speed, was never able to fully capitalize on it, and Riley never really gave him any room to do so, despite having Pokemon that were consistently weak to lose on Andrew's side.
And I think that's probably one of Riley's biggest strengths, and it comes with how experienced he is and how long he's been playing. I mean, it takes a very talented player to maintain the advantage when both of your Pokemon are slower, and also to burn those turns the way you need to. So I think that if you're Andrew, you definitely got to be a little worried going into this next game, because everything seemed like it was in your favor, but in reality, Riley still had full control.
Yeah, I mean, we will say they're taking
Riley's got to
right
get a
now,
selfie.
guys.
Yeah, you can't see it. It's a good one. It looked good.
Thanks for putting us in the selfie, boys. Yeah. But I mean, part of that too is the fact that, like, we can't discount the fact that Riley had a lot of RNG left on his side. There was a lot of misses, especially on really important turns, like that Kartana dodging moves. And I think it was the one that dodged it twice. I mean, and Xerneas taking it so comfortably. Obviously, capitalizing on things like that, it was really tough for Andrew because he made those right calls and those right plays. It was just unlucky that things like that didn't happen.
Yeah, and I don't think his game plan was bad. I think maybe Andrew could afford to maybe be a little more aggressive once the Trick Room goes up. I do think that's probably one of the better ways to try and handle whatever what Riley is trying. I just can't get names right. Whatever Riley is trying to throw at him. But I think, he was just maybe getting a little bit too passive in terms of switching. Maybe not calling something like the Incineroar coming in to burn those fake out turns. So maybe honestly Andrew has to get a little bit riskier and take some chances in terms of trying to catch Riley on the switch.
You know, honestly, I think every time I see Andrew's back against Wall in terms of games like this, he always brings on that victory bell, so I'm excited to kind of really see that, because it is going to be a fast mode Pokemon here, especially since we've, I don't know how often we've seen kind of Andrew play on Microsoft Clash Streams, but he loves bringing that victory bell and that Groudon together, and it's two Pokemon that go obviously very hand in hand. It's a substitute Venusaur, if you will, in some cases. It doesn't put things to sleep, it knocks things out with Weather Ball.
Gotcha. Oh, that really has Weather Ball.
Yeah.
Wow, that's pretty interesting, but I like that. I like that a lot. Well, we'll see if it's enough here. Definitely is going to be threatening the Xerneas and the Kyogre on Riley's side, so it could be a pretty good option. And the Groudon could probably mop up whatever, is left after one of those attacks. Riley, though, just going to stick with his lead. This classic fake-out setup lead. It's like a substitute Kangaskhan almost. And Andrew's actually going to bring out his Incineroar again. This time it's his Groudon.
Yeah, and I mean, obviously we've got, the two Destructors and then the two fake-out users. And like we had said before, Andrew has that faster fake-out, and that's going to be really important for him because he can at least try to stop that Xerneas. But now it's a matter of, does Riley protect the Xerneas? So, like, how do we do this fake-out? And that's always the hardest part of turn like this, because now that you know both of you have that fake-out pressure, are you going to go for a dead turn, or are you going to break protect? Because if you say to protect for the next turn, that makes it easier, and it's an easier mind game to play later on.
Well, and I was just going to say, I think it's tricky, though, for Jackson because, like, for Andrew. Wow, the names are right on top of each other in the screen. Andrew can't just fake out Riley's Incineroar because then he just gets a free Geomancy, and Groudon just doesn't have the damage to really punish that like it would if it was Primal, or you can't really set up a Swords Dance. That's not a thing that you see a whole lot these days. And so I think you really do kind of have to go for that trade, and it's just really tough. But actually, he's just going to switch out and bring in the Victory Bell. It's exactly what you wanted here. And it's going to be Happy in the Sun. Riley's not even going to go for a fake out either, which actually, it's going to be a very sad Victory Bell in the rain. I'm sorry, I misspoke. God, you got to wonder how much that was Riley seeing it coming. Fake out, obviously going to be into the Xerneas, considering Incineroar switched out. Yeah, so kind of a dead turn, but I think Riley probably got the better end of that one.
Riley definitely got the better end of that deal, and part of this I want to say is just absolutely a testament to how often they have played. Because like I was telling you, when Andrew's in sort of these situations, he'll bring in that Victory Bell again. And I think Riley kind of was expecting that, which is why there was no fake out there from all. And I mean, bringing in that Kyogre is really nice because now you've taken away that speed advantage that Andrew has with that Victory Bell. And sure, you're still threatened by that grass map, but there's not a lot that Andrew can really do to punish sort of a Geomancy setup without taking damage for both of the Pokemon on his side of the field. Exactly,
and as we've seen Riley, that's kind of what he likes to do. He really relies on that. Wow, okay, so the Sun is packed, but Riley he really likes to rely on that Geomancy to get him through a lot of things. So now Andrew's bringing in his Groudon, as Riley is of course going for this Geomancy. So the other important thing here is that something like a Sludge Bomb from the Victory Bell is not going to do anywhere near as much damage. Because of the special defense boost, it's also going to be just as fast as on the same speed tier as the Victory Bell, thanks to the +2 special or speed boost. And this Water Spout is actually still going to do a fair amount of damage to this Groudon, even though it's in the sun. That's about half health. Probably puts it in range of something like a Dazzling Gleam. Oh, okay, it's a Citrus Berry. I forgot about that. I've been calling it Baby Berry now. But a Grass Knot is coming into the Kyogre, and that's going to do a lot of damage. Well, it actually just gets a clean knockout. Okay, so I'm starting to see and maybe respect the power of Victory Bell. That Life Orb helping to get the knockout here. But honestly, I don't think Riley's too bummed. Because
Kartana, I think if you have Kartana in the back.
Oh yeah, 100%. Well, I feel like if you're seeing this Victory Bell, you're not seeing the Stack Attack.
Yeah, that's fair. And then I think you could also bring in back in the Incineroar and then just go for the big outs after. But I think it's just kind of fun to see as people react to like Victory Bell, especially because when Andrew told all of us he was using Victory Bell, we were like, "Excuse me, what are you talking about?"
Right. But I mean, clearly, like that obviously it's doing the work. I think it's definitely an interesting decision. And, I mean, that's one of my favorite things about VGC in general is just seeing, it's like, I hate to bring up the Pachirisu, but it's just like, it's not people just forcing these lesser-known Pokemon into being good, but it's finding the right Pokemon that works for their team and showing that really, as long as you're supporting it right and using it right, you can make a lot of different Pokemon that you wouldn't think about work.
Yeah, and then Riley is bringing in that Incineroar, and so, like we said, has that fake out potential again to kind of just stop Victory Bell from taking advantage of that chlorophyll speed boost or stopping that Groudon. And I mean, right now that Xerneas, as long as you stop that Victory Bell on Andrew's side, you've got free range to kind of go for the Moonblast, for the Dazzling Gleam, to do a lot of damage and just pick up knockouts here. And unless Andrew starts switching out Pokemon, there's not a lot he can do, but he's gonna lose something to Xerneas.
Yeah. It's really just a matter of time. I mean, even if he does switch out, he's really, I feel like, just kind of whittling the clock down. And again, like, if he's not applying damage, then he's not going to ever... I mean, that Xerneas is basically at full health. Riley, though, is just going to switch out his Incineroar, not going to fake out anything. He's going to bring in the Kartana. The Victory Bell, maybe potentially expecting a fake out, is going to protect. And now Riley... Oh, okay, so that was a good call from Andrew. He saw that coming. And now, oh my god,
no.
Oh my god, oh wow.
Ouch, that is not what you want to see, because Riley got that for free. That Kartana comes in so nice.
Yeah, and there the crowd was a little delayed.
For everybody, that is the double precipice blades you guys just saw. I mean, that is, we make a joke here that this format loves Riley, and as you can see from this, guys, this is amazing. But it's hard because, now that Victory Bell has burned that protect, this Kartana came in for absolutely free. Riley can just steamroll now into both of these Pokemon. There's not a lot Andrew can do. Even without that Kyogre anymore, Riley's still in a very dominant position. Yeah,
and Groudon is going to try and get out of there and maybe have a chance to fight another day. As Incineroar comes in, it's definitely going to take a Leaf Blade much better, and also the Intimidate will come in handy onto the Kartana. Let's see how much this Moonblast does. Victory Bell is known for having a big mouth, but it's not known for being very bulky, so that is going to feint pretty easily to the Moonblast. And now Kartana goes to this Leaf Blade into the Incineroar. That doesn't do a whole lot of damage, but honestly, I think Riley got what he needed to in this position.
Can you imagine if that had been a Sacred Stone into
Yeah, that would have been
so
on another level.
Like,
the double miss into the... okay, so the Stack Attack is here. So this is actually pretty interesting and significant, I would say.
Yeah, because I mean, I actually don't know if Xerneas can knock out the stack attack even with the +2.
No, I don't think it can.
And so now you can, just kind of fake out the Kartana here and set up Trick Room again, and now Riley's kind of in that spot. Or you could just go for the Gyro Ball. I mean, that's part of like the mind game you're playing. Like, is Riley going to protect that Xerneas, and will Andrew read into that and then go for the Trick Room and then go from there? Because he is preserving that Groudon for later on, because if he can get that Trick Room up and then take advantage of it and get that Groudon back in, he's in a good spot to kind of push this to the game and put Riley kind of on that back foot once more.
Yeah, and honestly, I think not having taken care of the Kyogre already is pretty important here. Okay, so the Xerneas is going to flinch, but that means, the Sacred Sword is into that slot.
That's not going to be enough.
No, it is. It's not going to be enough to KO. And so Stack Attack is going to get Trick Room up, and that's pretty bad for Riley, but pretty good for Andrew here because he's threatening both these Pokemon. Doesn't even need to switch. And Riley also really, he doesn't have the Kyogre anymore to bring into something like a Flare Blitz or a Gyro Ball. Something here is going to be taking an attack it doesn't want to.
So I think you're going to want to protect that Xerneas and switch out your Kartana for the Incineroar. In fact, you start cycling those Intimidates again, because that Incineroar can at least try to take a potential Flare Blitz. And now it's a matter of if Andrew understands that he's going to do that, does he go for Rock Slide, does he go for Flare Blitz? And this is the part where it's so difficult when you play your opponent in Swiss and you play them so many times so often, is that now it's a matter of trying to get into their head, and it kind of comes down to this turn.
Wow, so he's actually going to switch out the Stack Attack here for the Groudon, and that means no Gyro Ball this turn. Riley is going to switch out the Incineroar, but the problem is that means that he's going to be able to get the Intimidate onto the Groudon, so Precipice Blade is going to be doing even less damage here.
If it connects.
If it connects, which I guess is not a sure thing at this point. Andrew is not going to be able to do any damage to the Xerneas because it's protecting, but the good news here is that he is able to bring the Stack Attack back in with the U-turn, so this is definitely a good turn, but I would have liked to see it in the other order where, you leave the Stack Attack in and then you turn into the Groudon, because then you do duck something like that Intimidate, but I think ultimately you end up in a fairly similar position.
Yeah, I mean, I think part of it is that he was expecting maybe the Kartana to attack, because that's one of those things where, it's hard to call, is the Kartana staying, and does Riley read that, or like that mind game of having played so often?
That's true.
That's the play we were both expecting, right? And that Kartana did switch out, and if the Kartana had gone for the Sacred Sword into that Stack Attack, he would have given Riley that Beast Boost, and he would have lost that Stack Attack as well. At least in this way, he still has that Xerneas counter, and now he has that Groudon, so yeah, it has the Intimidate to it. However, both of these Pokemon Riley said have that chip damage, and he still got the Stack Attack as support, could go for the double Rock Slide as well.
I think he might need to, but correct me if I'm not wrong, the Fake Out is still on the table here,
yes,
right?
Yes, it is for Riley's side.
Yeah, so that's also kind of a problem for Andrew, and I think that's likely forcing him to go for something like this. Protect here from the Stack Attack. Let's see, okay, so he gets that correct. He's going to need a double Precipice Blade crit, and instead he gets a miss. I was just going to say, that's the only way I could see this going any better for him. Because, yeah, look at that. That's just no damage.
Yeah,
now the Moonblast is just going to go into the Groudon. And that is just, that is probably it at this point because, I mean, Riley still has the Kartana, and even though the speed is not in his favor, he's just going to be able to take out both these Pokemon eventually once it does get back into his favor.
Yeah, because I mean, what do? You protect your Xerneas here, you don't attack with it, you don't risk the Gyro Ball.
Yep.
Sure, Andrew has the Fake Out potential into that Incineroar, but then after that, your Trick Room turns expire. Your Stack Attack is never going to be in a safe spot to really set up Trick Room again. You can Moonblast into that now freely because that +2 at this range will definitely KO that Stack Attack, and then you just have the Incineroar against, a Kartana, another Incineroar into Xerneas, and there's not a lot that Andrew can do with that Incineroar by itself to kind of play offensively.
Yeah, and I think it's really just, again, incredible how Riley was, again, even though Andrew got the Trick Room up, it seemed like he was doing exactly what he needed to, but it just was not enough. So we see the Kartana switch in, as we discussed, and that way preserve the Intimidate for later. And yeah, there we go. The Xerneas is just going to protect. So Andrew, what he really needs here, I think, is probably to call this and go for a Flare Blitz into that slot. And it is a possibility, but that's just a knockoff instead. Maybe trying to play the long game. Get rid of a berry on the Incineroar if it stayed in, but at this point, it's just, well, actually, is there one more turn of Trick Room?
We don't know how to count apparently, guys.
Okay.
I mean,
one last ride.
I mean, that's what Andrew's crossing his fingers for, but I still think it's a little bit difficult because even if you have that, even with the Assault that's gone and you have some of that rock slide potential, you still have to make choices here, right? So the gyro ball, like, what do? You go for the double protect maybe, or you switch out that Kartana once more, you go for the Incineroar, you bring it back, you U-turn later on, and you fake out. No matter what happens, even if you get that Kartana out and you lose a Pokemon, you'll still have that potential to possibly win this.
Well, and Kartana is going to switch out, and Incineroar basically at this point just cycling the Intimidate to make sure that Andrew's doing as little damage as possible in this last turn of Trick Room here. I don't even know, this is at least 2 what is it, Intimidates. And now I wonder how much this Gyro Ball is going to do. Okay, it is still enough to get the knockout, and Andrew will net himself some kind of a Beast Boost. Let's see what, it's always interesting, it's defense, which actually, that's probably the one that you want at this point. Andrew finally going for that Flare Blitz, maybe expecting the Kartana, but it is not going to happen this time. Not going to do a whole lot of damage here. And now the Trick Room does return to normal. Stack Attack is probably not threatening that Kartana. You can probably just go ahead and Sacred Sword to Incineroar.
You can Sacred Sword whatever you really want, and like you can still actually go for a knockoff too with the Incineroar on the other side if you forgot that. I mean, like, you know, even if you lost the Xerneas, you get that switching back into Kartana, you have that potential to fake out, and now you have the upper hand again on speed. And like both of these Pokemon on Andrew's side, like sure you got the Flare Blitz potential on Jack, like with that Andrew, I see you did it too.
Yeah, okay, as long as I was the only one to do it.
You've got the Flare potential to go against that Kartana, but I still think Riley's in a better position because he's got the more offensive power, he's got the speed advantage. I mean, it's just difficult for Andrew at this point.
Yeah, well, I think that's probably a very good decision here from Riley. Even if Trick Room goes up, oh, now he can't. Yeah, just Sacred Sword that Stack Attack and get the Beast Boost, and that's going to make it much easier to take out this Incineroar on the following turn. And it looks like Riley is indeed going to walk away with that trophy, that perfect record against Andrew. Yeah.
I actually think Riley earns his invite with this win.
I think it was the last one.
Was it the last, like,
yeah,
so he's
just
like
making it to the
100%.
Finals was his invite.
So yeah, so no matter like even win or lose, Riley's gonna get that invite. I mean,
good weekend for him, considering, you know.
Yeah, I mean, he just got back from South Korea a couple days ago.
It was rubbing off on him. The excellence was rubbing off, and yeah, that Sacred Sword is gonna do it here, and Riley becomes your champion of this Esports Arena Midseason Showdown. Again, yes.
Again.
We say it like it's never happened before and it'll never happen again. But actually, this is kind of par for the course. Riley's a very good player.
But yes. I get to touch the trophy before Riley does.
There we go.
So this is the trophy that Riley wins.
And it's
beautiful. I know, it's so pretty. Wait, when do I get one for commentating all of
I know.
wins?
Yeah, we should at least get a medal or something like that.
Yeah, Medal of Honor for this, please. Honorable mention. But
Miguel
anyway,
said yes. We can confirm
Miguel's
that on
laughing
stream.
at us, so that probably means a yes at some point.
Yeah, we're getting one.
But I mean, obviously, congratulations to Riley. Congratulations to everybody who played. All of top 8 earned points. So you know, that, like, it's always hard to get the kicker sometimes.
Right.
Thank you guys for joining us.
Yeah, we appreciate it. It's been a long day.
Thank you for coming all the way out from Arizona. This guy drove out here for this mid-season just to commentate with
That's just how much I love VGC, how much I love Southern California, my family, my Southern California family here, and how much I love you, the viewer.
Oh, we're gonna present Riley's trophy.
We're gonna present it. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So
That'll
I'm
be
actually
good.
we will not see Riley at the frickin' PC on December 29th because this boy needs to be stopped. But I will say I will be interested to see if Riley's success rolls over to the mid series.
That is true.
This is the last mid-season for Miguel, at least, for Sun Series. Obviously, next week, for all of you coming to Anaheim, there is, I think, hey, Miguel, I'm like 90% sure there's a mid-season on that Sunday of Anaheim.
Yeah, it's likely. There usually is.
But so for everybody coming, watch out for Riley. I don't actually know if he's registered for Anaheim.
Yeah, you gotta imagine he is, but it's Riley, so you never really know.
Yeah, but I feel like Riley just kind of wakes up and he's like, maybe I'll play Pokemon today.
Right. I feel like that isn't like format to format. He's like, yeah, I probably should. I might as well. I got nothing else to do.
Okay, so his interview in Portland, he was like, yeah, I wasn't gonna play Pokemon, and then I saw the format and I was like, I have to do this.
Yeah, he was so good in 2016.
Hey Riley, are you registered for Anaheim Regionals?
I am.
Okay, there you go. So you will see Riley there.
Yeah, and here he is. You'll see him right now as we give him his trophy.
I don't want to get up. This is really comfortable.
No, yeah, I'll sit right here.
Hey, how long have you been back in the country?
How long have I been back?
Yeah, we were just telling him you were in South Korea for a while.
Yeah, less than 1 week.
Yeah, okay. How often did you pick up your DS in between Portland and now?
0 times.
Did you spend
Somebody stop it!
Did you spend any time with any Korean VGC players? Maybe that rubbed off. Okay.
Well, I hung out with Seijin and Wansop.
That sounds like a good time.
Yeah, we talk VGC, but more like the past since they're not really playing.
That's
right
true.
now.
Yeah.
But they're cool. I like them.
That's
yours.
good. Well, yeah, you earned that.
Congratulations.
What
You
do you-
earned that, yeah, with a double precipice.
Yeah, right, exactly.
There was a lot of misses.
Yeah.
However,
But, you know,
I will
that's
say,
Groudon.
watching you play, because I think out of all the people here, I've been obviously commentated the most of your matches for Sun Series. It has been like so much fun to watch you play all of that. So,
Well, that's good
yeah.
to hear. Thank you.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks for joining us. Go back to Ultimate. We'll see you guys. I'll see you guys. Some of you guys at Anaheim.
I'll see you around.
Yeah.
I'll be on Twitter. Come find me.
Okay, is that where I can find me?
Yeah.
What's your at, Jason?
At Krell it like it is. It's not like
Oh, is that-
Krellikitis. It's not like some kind of weird disease or something that people have told me. It's Krell it like it is.
Oh, I've definitely
it's
been
a pun
saying it
on my
wrong.
name.
Oh,
so
dear.
there you go.
All right,
You
well.
viewers out there, you just learned something that most people probably never bothered to think through.
All right. See you later.
Yeah. Thanks for joining us.
Bye. Yeah.
Congratulations. Somebody stop this man.
Try.